practice. Yay! Good morning, good afternoon, whenever you might enjoy this practice. Greetings from Sayulita, Mexico. Yes, we got back on airplanes and flew somewhere, and now it's like bright and humid and lubricating my joints and my skin. So that's fun. Um, a break is a nice thing when doing a proper winter, that's for sure. But here we are, ready to practice. We're gonna do just like a nice, well-rounded practice. We're doing a little bit more fiery awakening. It's definitely early spring for everybody this year, whatever you want to call the weather pattern, the influence, or just simply climate shift. But everybody's gonna get an earlier spring. We better get moving, lightening, and what I'm seeing, especially in my clinic space, is liver qi stagnation. I think I spoke to it actually in the last class as well, but liver qi stagnation, it's like everything is a little bit gunked up in the pipes. And all of a sudden you start adding movement, animation of spring, like just more movement, less hibernation, more movement. And you just hit this stagnation. Well, that could show up as heaviness, irritability, like agitation behind that sort of guck in the pipe. Um, could definitely show up as lethargy as well, difficulty getting up and going. But when liver chi starts moving, it's like magical, absolutely magical, because that's the software, the internal body software, where we get like free flow. And we're like, I just want to feel like I'm in the flow. It's all happening. I'm not holding or grasping onto anything. I want to feel freedom of movement in the body, like when we feel tight, constricted, restricted in the body. When we're asking for that free flow, that's liver chi. Like that is the characteristic of this woody thing. Wood is spring. We just crossed the threshold into the wood dragon year. Wood. We talked about it in the full moon and the new moon circle. Like this is the thing to start kind of wrapping your head around. Add a little lemon in the water in the morning. Start lightening up with a little bit fresher foods, not quite raw, but maybe a light saute. But start thinking about lightening up. How can we lighten up? I know for me, everything is so mental, and I got on this like simplify, just simplify. So even let's bring that into our practice, right? So let's start on the floor, and let's start on hands and knees, like a nice child's pose. I'm on a pretty hard marble floor, so I've got some extra cushions here for knees and things. But let's just bring ourselves into a nice child's pose. Oh. Well, maybe this child's pose needs to be really comfy cozy, right? We've got knees spread wide. We've got forearms stacked, right? If you had a bolster, you could bring the bolster right here and just have a nice little side head turn to the side, restful moment. A couple of stacked blankets could do the same. And just like I'm doing, that's just the intuitive breath. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, without constriction. So no ujjayi. Just like the breath is dumping out of the mouth. And what does it feel like to just let yourself melt here? To just release. Often when we have that pent up wood energy, we feel like a pressure cooker. Like it's gonna burst. It's just absolutely gonna burst. And if the wood is more towards fire, we might burst. We might have outbursts, it's true. When the wood is wet, no, we might feel very soggy. Mm. 2 more breaths here. Let's do some warm-uppy things from hands and knees. Like I said, I'm on a really hard floor, so I'm not acting like I have the joints of a 20-year-old. I'm gonna honor these knees. Ooh, cushy and nice. Um, Fingers spread wide. Let's just do a little cat pose exploration. Arching, looking up, spine moves towards the ceiling with the exhale. We have not warmed anything up yet, so just tune into how your hands and fingers and wrists feel here. We'll get there. Let little spontaneous movements come in, little wags of tails. What kind of tail do you have today? Fox tail. What beautiful tropical bird tail. Do you have a fluffy skunk tail? Stay back. Let's take this side to side. Inhale. Exhale, so spine is neutral, turning the head, gazing towards the heel. Inhale, center. Exhale. Oh, hello, ribs. Hello, space between ribs. Inhale. Exhale. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Last one here. Nice. Inhale, center back to child's pose. Start moving around in that child pose a little bit. Arms are extended. What feels good? I just started moving from side to side. Now come onto those fingertips. Walk the fingertips forward. And make a little circle under the shoulder blade. Play around with walking the fingertips forward. Lift through the shoulders. Walk the elbows back. Walk the hands a little bit back and make circles, right? So it's like we're just in this ever so slight inverted position that allows us to get under the shoulder blades. Can you make your shoulder blades move? I'm listening to the sound effects in my shoulder blades. It's like the candy Pop Tarts. Just snap, crackle, pop in there, like fizz. Mm-hmm. Slowly coming upward in something of a diamond pose. Here, shake out the wrist. Make a fist with the thumb on the inside. Move the wrists up and down. Move the wrists in circles. Opposite direction circles. Flat palm up and down. Shake it. Shoulder roll. Shoulder roll opposite turn. That's me relaxing my jaw. Big shoulder circles trace with elbows. Yeah, we're doing a little mashup of the knees right now. Your knees love it. Opposite direction. Move through the shoulder blades. Make them move. Nice. We are going to come back to hands and knees. Let's bring this back down to the hips and pelvic bowl. But in between, stretch a leg. Just come onto the toe tips. Have a little stretch through back leg here. A little traction out of the hip. Let's do the opposite. Stretch. Wiggle. Yeah, maybe if I simplified the name of my movement technique these days, it would just be stretch and wiggle. Stretch, wiggle, strong. Wiggle it, wiggle it. You should have seen me on the flight yesterday. Like I have a whole I can totally do like a full yoga practice from my seat. I'm that guy. I'm like spraying myself. I got lotions, I got oils, I'm hydrated. Yeah, I've just got this like whole airplane practice. Oh no, Nikki, come back. Oh, I think I just missed Nikki.
Amadine? Amadine?
Oh, I'm sorry I missed you, love. Maybe she'll come back again. Okay, now we got a little into the hips. So now, fingers spread wide. Walk the hands just ever so slightly forward. And circle. Circles around the hips. Oh, that feels amazing right now. Ooh, humidity. You've been missing from my life. Make sure the fingers are spread really wide. You're tracing the circle with your belly button. You can make it as small or as big as you like. You can start small and spiral bigger. Wow, go the opposite direction. Now, I'm not letting my belly button hang down so that it's like pulling the lumbar forward. I've got my navel slightly drawn inwards. I don't even have to do it. I just think. Navel drawn inward. Oh yeah, I'm not even contracting, but let's say you needed to do that, right? Really needed to have that sense of the belly's drawn slightly inwards. Totally cool. These are all little stabilization practices. Something about this feels so good. Go back to the first side. Oh, still good? Yes. Whoa. Opposite direction. Yeah. You know how we have environments that like our happy place? Mine's the ocean. Mine's the beach. Take a child's pose. Salt air. Cleansing, clearing, nourishing. Back onto hands and knees. This is figure 8. You could do like a literal 8. Or you could envision your 8 as an infinity symbol. Also, my 8 often turns into lots of 8s. So they snake-like and spirally. It's not about the shape. It's about, try to reverse, it's about your hips moving from side to side. This therapeutic movement happens when we walk. The hips move from side to side. nourishing inside hip socket. It just evolved into just little sideways spiral. And back to child's pose. So drawing together a few things I've been talking about. Outer wood channel, yang channel, side lateral movement. So each of the fascial planes has a directional movement. We're going to slither these snake bodies onto the floor. Gentle back bend. Gentle back bend series. We've got hands by the sides of the chest, elbows in, legs together, feet together for the most part. Forehead starts on the floor. You're going to ease belly into the floor. Lift with upper back muscles. Glutes are totally relaxed. Take your mind to the glutes. They aren't doing anything. They might really want to do something. No, they're going to relax. We're lifting with the upper back. As soon as I did this, I felt muscular tension. So I'm just easing. I know I'm going to do this a few times. I'm not rushing it. I'm taking myself right to the edge of that unhappy glute. And that's really interesting because the glutes aren't activated to do this movement. To do this movement is back body. So erector spinae, long muscles of the back. We're still holding in this baby cobra. Roll the shoulders. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then can you move the shoulders a little bit down and away from the ears? Anti-computer posture. Roll the shoulders. Squeeze shoulder blades together. And then see, can they move a little bit down towards hip? I'm going to take a breath in. Bring forehead to the floor and take a couple resting breaths. Let the whole spine lengthen and traction. Hands are still by side of chest, elbows in. I'm taking myself to this little rude thing in my right hip. It's like I could trace it exactly. Feels glute maximus. I can feel it in this neutral pose. Keep exploring. Baby cobra. Belly pushes into the floor. Lifting with upper back. Roll the shoulders, squeeze shoulder blades together. Give a little space at collarbones. If neck doesn't like it, you could look down, you could look a little bit ahead. Big breath in. Exhale, resting breath, forehead on the floor. We're going to do this 2 more times. Belly pushes into floor. Lifting, really give yourself that rest breath in between. Roll the shoulder blades, squeeze them together. Move them a little bit down. Anti-computer posture. It's all 3 points in the opposite direction. The head is in extension. The shoulders are rolled back and the shoulder blades are moved down towards the hips. It's exactly the opposite of computer posture. So who knows, as I'm narrating my own body here so that you learn how to narrate your body, why on earth is glute on my right side holding here? What's that about? It's probably from that seated posture. Breathe in. Exhale. exhale. So when I come down, I might bring my right, I said I have this tension on the right hip. I'm going to bring my right toes on the floor and just give a little traction. Give a little space inside that hip socket here in this neutral position. A little bit of wiggling, stretch and wiggle. One more, we're going to hold. Inhale, baby cobra. Roll the shoulders, squeeze shoulder blades together. Something's loosening here. I mean, we might be chipping away at granite here, but I mean, the great sculptors of Italy used to do it. Sandpaper and all. Hey, lift the hands. Bring the elbows a little bit forward and ease yourself into Sphinx pose. Weight pushed into the palms. Elbows come up. What a divine pose here. Elbows are very active, pushing into the floor, lifting through chest. If you're feeling like, oh, my legs are spreading apart a little bit, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We all have different shaped legs. One day you'll meet me in person and you'll discover, like, I'm a giant. Let the tailbone relax. Breathe into spine. Now, what if we played a little with toe tips? If you like it, cool. And if you're like, oh, I don't like this, yeah, don't do it. Right? But you could come on to toe tips. You could stretch through the heels. We get a little squeeze of glutes there, but you might find a little bit more space. Through lumbar vertebra. So this is one thing to do. Another thing is I've got left toe tips down and I'm going to put my right foot on top and then I'm going to squeeze and flex through left heel. So left toes on the floor, right foot crosses over. I press into the heel. Something very glorious happens in the sacrum. I have used this personally to realign my tailbone. Let's try the other leg. So glutes are squeezing there because we got a little tension. So now I've got my right toe tips on the floor, left foot comes on top, and I stretch there. This heavenly release of the muscles around sacrum. Big breath in. We better follow that with a rest breath. All the way down. Reversed corpse. Arms in front, thumbs touching. Forehead comes down onto the floor. Nose smushes. Breathe into the whole of the back body and melt. Let the spine lengthen. Just give the spine a moment for communication, for processing. Let's come into a little adductor series. Inner thigh, yin wood surface. Bend the elbows, have your hands out in front for support. Bring the right leg to 90 degrees from the floor and a little bit out. This is called flapping fish pose. Lots of options, hands in front, or just the arms rotate. You could have elbow on top of thigh, head in the center, turn to the side, or elbow on floor, head turn to side. This is another resting pose. Beautiful hip opener. Find your breath. Breathing through the whole of the body. Breathing through little stuck places. We could stay in this pose for a very long time. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So good, so good. But today we get about 5, 6 breaths. Let's come back to the center with arms. Stretch this leg down. Let's bring left leg up and a little bit out so there's a little traction through the hip. Now we had options. We're just swinging the arms. Now I get a little sharp thing when I'm doing that. I was able to do it on the other side, but this side it's catching right in the rib. So I'm gonna back off. Had I known this side wouldn't like the rotation of the arms, I wouldn't have done it on the other side, just to work evenly, right? So as we explore and get to know the sides, we try to work evenly on two sides. Breathing. Whole body breathing. Inhale. In the pose, exhale, release arms, release leg. Pick up your fishtail, feet towards the ceiling, and flap your fishtail from side to side. Internal and external rotation of the hip. Take note of cranky pullations. And get ready to push yourself up and back into child's pose. Anything to stretch out through side body, through shoulders, as you're slowly making your way back up. We're back on hands and knees, so if you were using some padding, we're going to bring left foot forward. Let's do a little bit lungy range of motion here. Forward and back. I'm not very far forward. I'm just at about 90 degrees. Some days I like my back toes tucked under. Some days it's untucked. Today feels like a tucked day. I want my hips to move actually forward and back in this plane to the best of my ability. So just awareness piece around that. Now, right knee's down. Left foot comes to the side. Back toes untucked. Side lunge. All in that adductor space. So I'm just moving in this plane here. So nice. Let's switch legs. Now, when I go to this side, hips are a little wonkier. So just feeling that plane, not forcing my body to do anything it won't do. I'm just seeing, can I apply some awareness and flow, sense of flow. Yeah, my lunge is not very wide. Let's do adductor, side stretch, flow. Right? Sometimes I just add these arms just to like feel a sense of flow, right? Feeling sense of flow. Very nice. Back to center. We're coming into something like a child's pose, but this time wider. Toes are straight back, down onto elbows. Range of motion for adductors from here. And we're just forward and back. Right at the groin attachment. You'll see how forward you need to be with the elbows. Feet straight back. Is it getting a little wider with the knees? Okay, elbows back, directly, in line with shoulders. Turn the feet outwards. Let the knees sprawl a little bit. I'm on this really comfortable blanket, and this is like winning right now with supporting the knees. And I'm not much for pulsation here. Sometimes, no, yeah, I don't do pulsation here. I just hold. Navel draws inwards. Frog pose. Not Bhikasana, traditional frog pose, but this is pretty frog-like. Ribbit, ribbit. And ease the hips back. Let the knees continue to open up. Breathe. Breathe. With the blanket, you can hold longer with padding. Without padding, this gets a little tough, not gonna lie. Use your elbows to hold your body weight as you walk the knees back in. Take a child's pose. Check in with shoulder, elbow. We're coming up into diamond pose. Vajrasana, Seiza. Gentle neck movement. Inhale, chin back. Exhale, chin towards chest. Exhale, move through jaw. Relax facial muscle. Right and left movement. This is one of my favorite positions to do neck movement from. Should the lower body be restful and relaxed here, we get full unencumbered movement of the spine because we're not like in seated position with gravity still on the tailbone, pelvic bowl. We just are totally free. Here, so really observe the feeling, right and left movement of the neck. Now ear to shoulder, favorite. Inhale. So this is wood plane of the neck. No shockers there. This is gallbladder fascia. Gallbladder, triple heater. Breathe in. I got my mouth slightly open. Jaw relaxed. Oh, just spontaneous, gentle, low tone chanting. Oh, this is the very tight plane. Don't want to overdo it, just letting it be. One more half circle, tuck chin, up to shoulder, down to the middle. Oh, inhale, opposite shoulder. Back to center. Now just movement through thoracic spine. Hands are near knees. Inhale, chest moves forward. Exhale, rounding in upper back. Maybe let the hands slide a little. Inhale, exhale, upper thoracic spine. A little snap, crackle, pop there. Now that we've given a nice thorough movement through here, if we were to come into downward facing dog, we could really feel these curves of the spine. I haven't ever really talked about down dogs, but let me see if I can talk about a couple of elements of this pose. First of all, the measurement wants to be from child's pose. Arms extended, fingers spread wide. That wants to be the width of arms, of hands and feet. Now, more traditional schools will have the feet closer together, knees bent. Mm-hmm. My comfortable child's pose is a little bit wider. So, playing with a few spirals in the pose. Bend the knees, tilt the hips, give a little shrug. And this might not be accessible with your shoulder, FYI. But equally, this may help your shoulder. I don't know. Let's see. You're going to bend the knees, tilt the hips, shrug the shoulders. Like you're bringing your shoulders up towards your ears. Keep the shoulders there. Let the heart melt. Let the head be relaxed, in line with the spine. Pedal through the backs of the legs, slowly, one at a time, finding space. Walk feet towards hands, stretching through heels. Little pedaling. Walking feet towards hands. Walking hands back towards feet. Soft bend in the knee. Let the head drop down. Whatever wiggles, get things moving here. Tabletop pose, soft bend in the knees. Soft arch in the low back. When you want to, inhale and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, forward fold. Hello, hamstring. Little exploration with soft knees and wiggling through back of leg. Next, inhale, roll yourself all the way up to standing. Take a second. Let blood trickle down from the head. So you come into mountain pose. So that down dog. Okay. Oh, so many yoga teachers, so many yoga approaches, so many ways to do these poses. I'm just sharing with you what I've learned along the way and what works for my body. I actually learned a lot of these little like spirally adjustments inside yoga poses when I studied with this very gifted Anusara yoga teacher. And she had a really cool body. Like her body was really different. It was hypermobile in the joints, so that was there. But she was not a skinny mini. Like she had substance on her bones. And it helped me understand how my body could move better in yoga poses. Anusara, and we better also say, like, Anusara, that guy totally turned out to be, another ass grabber. And Anusara really tanked as a result. It's kind of too bad because what he came up with in terms of body kinesiology, that stuff worked. My flexibility went through the roof when I started practicing Anusara, and so it's like we're constantly in this conundrum, like, oh, we'll just separate the teachings from the teacher. It's like, that's not an answer. That's just bypassing. So all that to say, here we go. Now, what I was describing in downward facing dog is the difference between your arms staying in alignment with your ears in the pose versus what most people do in their down dog, which is this. And I don't know, I don't encourage it so much for your shoulder, but just try that. See the difference of you're doing something and your arms are in line with your shoulders. Sorry, with your ears. With your ears. Versus overextended. Do you feel all that tension? Like here? So now put it in the perspective of downward facing dog. You're in an inversion. So you've got more play through thoracic spine, through lumbar spine. But your weight bearing, do you think your shoulder joint likes being back here? So that little adjustment that I had you do, you bent the knees, you tilted the hips forward, you brought the arms in line with the shoulders, you shrugged the shoulders, and you let the heart melt forward. Doesn't it almost look like I'm coming into chair pose? Right? Just try this from standing. So here was the feet. Bend the knees. Let the hips tilt forward. Bring the arms in line with your shoulders. Oh, sorry, it's ears. Bring your arms in line with your ears. Shrug the shoulders. Let the heart melt. Now what do you feel? You are essentially in chair pose right now. But what do you feel? Do you feel the exact opposite? Now the back is softening. The heart melts forward. What do the shoulders do? They relax. Anusara has this cosmology of the body of these spirals. And so the little adjustments you're making, it feels very like belly dance or something. It's all these little spirals. So let's just try that down dog one more time over here. So all those cues. We started from child's pose for the measurement, the distance between hands and feet. Fingers spread wide. Do your feet width, whatever you want. Bend the knees. Tilt the hips. Shrug the shoulders. Let the heart melt. Then I come back to my hands and I give a little, again, ease back into my hips. My knees are bent. My hips are tilted. I shrug my shoulders. I let the heart melt. My neck is now very free. I engage my hands toward moving my body towards the space behind me. If I then wanted to express my pose with heels towards the floor, I could play with that, but I probably won't because it just feels too good to hang out here. I can breathe here. Walk the feet forward. Walk the hands back. Inhale all the way up. This is the difference of a down dog that has the potential for rest versus a downward facing dog that is straining the crap out of your rotator cuffs, which are these tiny, I think of them as trident sticks of trident gum. These tiny, thin little attachments that are not meant to do weight bearing. Big muscles are meant to do weight bearing, not little sweet sticks of gum. And what usually do you piss off when you're doing terribly aligned downward facing dogs? Rotator cuff. They're just not meant to take the weight. So play with that. Play with this theory of like bending, softening, opening. I hope that was enlightening. Downward facing dog. It's a resting pose, which means you're supposed to be able to hold it for a really long time. Yeah, 1 minute, 2 minutes, like this. Yeah. Okay, that was a good little finger dinger. All right, we're at the top of the mat. You're gonna bring your right foot back. And you've got space between the feet. We're doing a little bit more martial type stance or warrior two. Warrior one, just kidding, warrior one. So I've got space between the feet. This foot is not in line. My back foot is not in line with the front foot. It's out to the side. And let's just play a little. What hip movement do you have available here? Right, we could be a little open. We could be a little forward. Just play a little. Arms up, warrior one. Sorry, pretty decorative thing. Warrior three, also known airplane pose. Take a big breath in. Exhale will come forward. If you want to keep your arms overhead, that's fine. Could be, I was here for warrior three. I'm going to come back and do that again. So we might just be in warrior three or airplane pose. Up to the side. Lifting with back leg, lifting with chest. Back to starting position. Let's try that on the other side. My foot's out to the side. Bend in the front knee. Playing. Playing with what's available. Warrior one. Breathe in. Exhale, warrior three. Doesn't have to be that leap forward. Could be something much more conservative. Hips are forward. All right, we might be discovering right now. Back to starting position. Like one side is springy. One side's in winter. Relax both legs. Shake it. Cool little range of motion series here from standing for hips. So we're forward. One option is both feet face forward, just natural step. Or if you felt like having right leg back, we're just gonna bring knee up. Now, me, I do these and I instantly come into fighting stance. The arms come up, nothing's with tension, but just put a guard up, right? One hand's a little bit up, block stuff from face. One hand down here. Something's gonna come and just blocking that other one. Just start playing around with like the hands are up here, but they're very relaxed. Right? I'm here. I'm doing a slight rotation when I'm coming to basically from center. So you could also just, but it's a little bit more comfortable for me. This feels a little bit more natural. Just again playing with that a little bit, like what's available. Already glutes are like, we're tired. Let's do the other side. I've got right foot slightly forward, left foot slightly back. My right arm's up into my high guard. No, nobody's slapping me. No beer bottles coming my way. Knees need to be bent. Don't straighten this leg while you're lifting. Yeah, bring that knee up. Breathe out. Your hips love this. Couple more. Nice. Shake it out. Shake it out. Now we're pretty even. Just to the side. You know, it's helpful to have your elbow here. Do a little touch. Don't cheat. Oh gosh, feels like each leg is 100 pounds. Let's go to the other side. And just notice muscles we use to lift. Keep breathing. Nice. Shake it out. Shake out the arm. Now it's just a standing hip circle. You can alternate. You keep your guard up. Now, what muscles are you using to do this? Are you unnecessarily recruiting from your neck? Right? Why do you want your neck to do this? Are you trying to just swing that leg around and straining the low back? Lift your knee. Like lift it and turn. Don't just swing it. Right? Come into this here. The sense of contraction from here. Let it get a little dynamic. You feel a little sense of power? Sense of strength? An expression for some of this aggressive energy? Frustration? Anger? Suppression? We are going to need one hell of an expressive spring. Back to center. Dance it. Wiggle it out, stretch and wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, feel the fire. Awakening with some sweat. But what about behind? Same thing. We need to be able to have this drying. It's from pelvic ball. It's a little bit drying. Let's kind of play with that a little bit. Other side. A little bit drawing in. Right, a little bit draws in. So I'm not like up here. That side need a little. This side's got some major crank. The good kind. Mm-hmm. Now draw in, a little bit down, glued together knees. To here. Draw in. I can't watch myself and do it. Draw in. A little bit down. Try the other side. Draw in. Knees touching. A little bit down. Draw in. Now, from that very powerful position, we're going to stretch that leg behind for back kick. Here, a little bit down, back kick behind. Try it out. Try in. Right, even my guard is in. And back kick. How about one more on this side? Draw in. It's very hard to do this slow. Oh, deadly kicks. Try the other side. Draw in. Come down. Breathe in. Exhale. And possibly turning and looking at the target. Breathe in. Down. Try one more on this side. Yeah. Nice job. Back to center. Standing twist. I want you to feel the little spark. The little spark of power in the body. What it feels like to move with strength and grounding. Ease it down. Ground back into earth. Maybe you got a little fiery, a little airy. Come back down. Start to slow down. Find a stop. Pause. Feel the whole body. Feel alive. Open the eyes, take the mind outside the body. Feel expansion. And ask your very wise body, what comes next? A little bit more stretching. Foam roll recovery. Time to ease down for a nidra. Seated meditation, breath work. Or are you coming into the next part of your day having taken a pause, gotten inside this body, and connected? Is there a way to direct this little fiery energy we've ignited? Caretaking that little flame. Caretaking that little flame. I'm going to leave you all here to make next and wonderful choices. Check it out. Next Tuesday, I will be on retreat, but I'm going to upload a practice for next week, probably on Friday. The retreat center we're going to, no electricity, no Wi-Fi. Yes. So it's going to be a really good break. Yes. So I'm going to upload a practice for next week on Friday. So it'll be there for you, something fresh and new. And then I'll catch you guys live the following week. I'll put a reminder in the feed about that like this. So next time I'll catch you guys live will actually be the full moon circle. Full moon circle on the, I think it's the 24th. And then we're back in with Vajrayana on the 25th. Like that, and I'll catch you the following Tuesday. So good times. This was an excellent practice today. Good times. More to come. Thank you for